Steph and I are holding down the fort, and we are going to...
Matt, can you call the dog?
Matt. Matthew. Is he here?
I think so.
Matt. Bye, Lizzie. Say bye to the camera and all the fans.
Come.
In San Diego, being here for the first time. Lizzie. And, welcome back to our fourth.
Can't believe it's 4 already.
Fourth episode, and look who our star guest is today.
Yes. As you can tell, our third Miss Tara is back home with the fam for Thanksgiving. So we had a little substitute for this week,
substitution.
and her butt is right in the camera. All
Lizzie, that's inappropriate.
All right, there we go.
We know the show's called Lady Balls, but seriously, have some class.
Seriously, have some class.
Have some class, little girl.
Come on, honey.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We hope that you had such an amazing time celebrating and just being super grateful, surrounded by love, family, friends. I know that I felt all of that being out here doing Friendsgiving in San Diego for the first time.
Me too. And Thanksgiving food sucks. Now that we got that out of the way.
Wait, okay, so yes. Before we get a lot of hate, let's just clarify what we mean by that.
I mean everything by that. It sucks. I don't like it.
So, yeah, I think the holiday, being grateful.
She's so positive.
Here I am trying to back up Lady Balls.
Sucks.
Okay, you're right.
I can't get us canceled.
I
think this one out.
I think the holiday has such a beautiful meaning behind it where we all come together and we give thanks. I truly do agree with Steph. I'm not a fan of the Thanksgiving food. I think it's pretty bland, but you know, yeah, a little
geriatric,
bit, a little.
Some would say
a
it's like
little
nursing
stale.
home food. Everything,
a little mushy.
Like, why don't we like to eat anymore? We all have teeth. Well, not all of us.
So let me ask you this, because we did a Friendsgiving and it was kind of like a potluck, and we brought a charcuterie board.
She did it.
I said it right.
She said it right.
And I do think like that was one of the biggest hits. Everybody loves a little snack
Sweet
and nibble,
salty.
sweet and salty, right? But besides that, what was your favorite food of the item of the buffet?
Of the buffet, of our charcuterie board, or just the whole thing?
The whole thing.
The chicken.
Chicken.
I'm a meathead, if we're not surprised. And I like protein. I'm sorry. Nothing else satiates me.
Yeah.
I did like the any kind of like vegetables baked and crispy.
Yeah.
See, it's not pureed.
I was just going to say, you know, actually, weirdly enough, I really enjoyed the chicken as well. And I know your girl's been eating a lot of chicken lately.
We got a lot of lady ballers up in
but
here.
But yeah, the Brussels sprouts.
Ooh,
I'm a big Brussels sprout girl. You're the lover, you hate it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Awesome. Shall we get into the topic today?
Yeah, let's definitely do it. So today, you know, again, missing tea, but we're going to keep this one nice, sweet, and short for you guys. Something that has been coming up into the topic of conversations all week long. So we're like, all right, we need to talk about this on the episode. And it really comes and stems through woman empowerment, but allowing others to help you. I think this is such a cool topic because we get a little bit heated when we have conversations. Fair play to each person.
Right, totally. And I think as two women that are very independent and have our own side hustles and are very go and independent, it's very hard for me personally, and I won't speak for you, but I have a feeling you're similar, to accept help from other people. And it's crazy because the longer you do it, the deeper it gets. And it gets harder and harder to feel like you can be vulnerable, let the walls down, let someone take care of you for once. And it really came through a lot of different conversations this week, and it's just crazy because it came up for me in therapy. Ash was having a conversation with a good friend of hers that's a guy and gave a guy's perspective, and it's just like really important, I think, to bring up because as the hustling type that we are, we both want to have that balance of feminine, masculine energy.
Yeah. And I think that, I want to ask you is, where do you feel like you are fearful of giving that energy to somebody to look after you? Or do you feel like you have a good balance between it?
Yeah, that's such a good question. And I always got really excited about the fact that I was so independent and wore it almost as a badge of honor, like boss lady, all this stuff. And then I was getting really frustrating while dating. I was like, why am I not meeting real men? Why am I paying for Ubers? Why am I opening doors for men? Why am I texting them saying, did you get home safely?
What? What the?
I was like, what is going on? And I was blaming the men instead of looking inward and being like, is the common denominator is me?
Yeah.
And what kind of energy am I giving off? And I feel like sometimes I'm so independent, and even though I want them to like override that I insist to pay or split or something, I want them to always like override it on a first date. Sometimes they don't, and at first I was like, that's really annoying and frustrating, but then I realized they probably don't want to disrespect that I'm trying to just be a boss lady.
Yeah.
But I think I'm really struggling to allow men to show their chivalrous side and to just let my walls down and let them take care of me for once. And I also realized I do this with almost everything in life, not just dating and men. I do this with projects. I do this with side hustles. I start something and I never allow myself to attach to it. And my therapist helped me realize that I'm really afraid to attach or depend on something, and that we can go into the whole reasons why, and that's all the childhood shit. But it's essentially like so scary for my brain to feel attached to something. And it's easier for it to just run from thing to thing to thing to thing because there's no risk in that. And I am safer in this controlled environment where I don't let someone in. And it all kind of came out this week and through these really great conversations. And I'd love to ask you too, because you're a little bit older than me. You've gotten more wisdom over the years with dating and things beyond dating. So do you feel like that's something you still struggle with, or do you think that you've kind of overcome that?
Yeah. I think it is sort of one of these things where we're always going to struggle as powerful women and as independent women, but it's recognizing it. And what I think I recognized was the fear of failure or the fear of getting hurt. And that is why I lived so long of my life with walls up and not letting people in for so long because I was scared that I wasn't good enough, or I was scared that I was going to scare them away, or that I was going to fail at whatever I was putting my effort in, and the fear of success as well. These are all things. Yeah, they're all attachment issues, and it's definitely something where I think when you're fearful of it, you're scared to go all in on something
100%.
Because you don't want to be disappointed, and it's
And
like having
depend
dependency and expectations of something. And so I think over the years, I really have learned a balance and being like, it's okay to let somebody take care of you. I've always, been this like, I'm an independent woman, I don't need no man attitude, but I was wrong. I do need a man and I do like to be taken care of, but I also grew up in a divorced family. My parents got divorced when I was 6 years old, and I look up to my mom so much with the independence that she grew to take care of us kids as well, even though she financially wasn't in that place as my father. She gave us in so many other ways, but it kind of struck me where I was like, I never want to be in that situation where I am struggling and I'm struggling to pay my own bills. So I do really have this like empowerment that like I don't expect somebody to just take care of me. I want it to be equal. And my friend and I were talking about like hierarchy. Like I don't believe like a man should have the hierarchy or a woman should have the hierarchy. I think we should all be equal and look at each other as we give in different ways and provide in different ways. And it's a balance between, and I think guys also do appreciate that too, when, you know, you don't expect them just to pay for everything, and you want to do something nice for them. You want to buy them something. You want to take care of them as well. But I do totally understand where that can be intimidating for a guy's perspective, is to have this like independent, powerful woman, not let them take care of you.
Yeah, I think it can go too far. Yeah, and with this whole masculine, feminine energy thing, for lack of better terms, it comes down to balance, as everything does in life. And I feel like I let it get too far because it is my reality. I live to support myself. My job, I don't have another set of income. I don't have someone waiting for me at home if I'm sick and they need to like do my, I mean, now I do, but but like, hey, sugar daddy, when you're single as a woman nowadays and you're working, like, you do become your provider, and it gets a little hard to slow down that same level of intention with everything else in life, even dating. And sometimes I'm so used to being self-sufficient, buying my own everything, doing my own everything, which is beautiful, but I refuse to let men sometimes chip in or take care of me, and I think it pushes them away a little bit. And it also impacts other parts of my life, like these side hustles, these projects where I'm just afraid of going all in anything, because being attached scares me. And it all comes down to that for me personally.
And it is, you know, funny, because I used to feel the same. And again, it was the attachment and the fear. And I also too am that type of person that would start so many different projects and not complete them. And I thought I was such a failure. But what I realized, Steph, is like, it's not actually failing. It is, you're just not tapped into what you're so passionate about. Because I do think being obsessed with something shows that you truly deeply love something so much that you want to give all your time and energy to it. And that's so important, especially if it's coming to you starting a business or starting a side hustle. If you're not 100% in, and if you don't feel like it's coming from your soul and you're energetically aligned with it, you're going to quit, and it's not going to feel right. So like for me, Lady Balls, filming this episode, doing our work, it feels effortless, and I'm so obsessed with it, because I finally feel like this is what I want to be doing, where it didn't just be like, this is my first project. No, we've gone through so many.
If you looked through our computers, you would find programs and coaching things, like these things that we both have made for years, and it's like, I agree with you.
Does someone know how to clean a computer off? Because I need to get rid of that.
Or find missing files, because I need to do that too.
Help us out.
But I agree with you that you definitely have to be obsessed with something. I'm so afraid to be obsessed with something, because I am afraid of being attached to it, because I am afraid of someday something really large that is a part of me being taken away from me, or not loving me in return.
Do you think that you are deserving of it?
That's, I think, the key is when we look at sabotage, aka not letting me try things that I think I'll be passionate about, not letting the obsessions happen naturally, there's got to be something in me that doesn't feel like I deserve to live a life of success. And I don't mean success in terms of all this money and everything, but living up to my potential. Like, I think I'm afraid of, it's so paradoxical. I'm so afraid of not living up to my potential that I avoid everything instead. And it's like, well, then I'm clearly not going to live up to my potential. But it's probably the fact that I'm controlling that outcome, instead of it being like, I put my heart and soul into something and maybe it doesn't work out. Because I think that idea is so painful to me, to put my heart and soul into something that doesn't work out. And I know, like, failure's a lesson and you learn and it's beautiful. It's about the journey, not the outcome, yada, yada, yada. But I'm just, I think, speaking from where that hesitation to become obsessed comes from.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that you just shared really openly about that, because I do think all of this stems from, we have to figure out the root cause of it. And you have to believe in yourself that you are deserving of greatness. You are deserving to have the life that you desire. And if you believe you're deserving of that, you will fight to do it, whether it hurts you, whether it breaks you, whether it defeats you, because you know what? You're never going to get there unless you try. That's the only way to fail is to quit.
Yeah.
And you can't quit on yourself. And we had this conversation the other day is, you know, I have all this potential. Why am I not taking action to do it? But if I died today, if I died tomorrow, would I be happy with what I left behind, right?
No. Yeah, and I wouldn't be, because I'm purposely holding back.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we accidentally just stumbled upon the Lady Vols mission statement, which is literally like breaking free from the confines of your own mind, no one else's confines, and seeing what's on the other side of fear. It's kind of the devil you know is less scary than the devil you don't. And that freedom and the other side of fear, for many people, is scarier than the hell they're going through now.
Yeah. Totally. And, you know, again, we're sitting here sharing so openly with our feelings and even the struggles that we're still fighting for to get through. And, you know, I still struggle to believe that I am going to be successful, or I'm going to have true love, or I'm going to, you know, have a family that I desire. But it's not that I don't believe that I deserve it. It's just I have the fear that, what if it's not good enough? Or what if I get there and it's not what I want? And
maybe you know deep down, though, that stuff isn't the thing that will ever make us happy. And it's the journey and the day-to-day and the coffee in the morning with your loved ones. Like, I think that could be it. It's like, maybe I don't want it that bad, because I know in the end that stuff is, at the end of the day, superficial.
Yeah. And I love that you just said that, because it reminded me of the book that I just read, which is my favorite book, The Alchemist. And I just read it again for the second time. And it struck so differently to me this time than when I read it back in 2016 when I first started my travels. Right now I'm in a different place, so I took on the life lessons that the book gives. So if you haven't read The Alchemist, please go read it. Everybody loves this book, and it's so true, because it's such an easy read, but it's so much clarity of him trying to find his personal legend, his treasure that he was seeking for. He went through so many tough times of losing everything, but again, or having to switch his journey, pause, take a step back, and then re-go. And that's what it's all about. The book is all about the journey, and it's not what you just think it's going to be. Life throws you curveballs, but it's what are you going to do to keep going towards what you desire. And he never quit. He never stopped. And, you know, I think that's like what we're sitting here doing is we're not stopping. We're continuously to fight to chase our dreams.
Even if it's uncomfortable and anxiety provoking, and even if in my head I'm like, I'm too lazy, I know it's not because I don't want it, it's because I'm afraid of wanting something so badly. And we do have to wrap this because he's going to be here soon.
Okay.
That's a great closing, I think, the kind of the summary you gave of The Alchemist, because I do think that hits what we're trying to talk about, you know?
Yeah. And it's, again, not being fearful to be an independent woman, but also allowing yourself to know that you don't have to take care of yourself. Allow others to help you, and don't feel like a burden. If someone's trying to help you, I'm gonna lend you my hand. I'm gonna lend you my hand. Lend my hand to you to help you, because that's what you do for others that you care about and truly love. You help, and that's, I think, the greatest gift of the world is helping others.
Yeah, it's so true. And you're not ever an inconvenience to the people you love. And it's important that we all sometimes let our walls down and allow the ego to step aside. Just like The Alchemist, take a step back if you have to. Sometimes you have to do things that you almost feel ashamed of, because you almost need that reset and that check, that reality check, that life isn't always perfect. You're not always perfect, and you're not unstoppable all the time. Like, sometimes we do need others in our lives to help us, and that's a beautiful thing. And that's what humans are all for. That's why we're community creatures.
Absolutely. So, with that, let's leave it here, guys. We're gonna keep this one again short and sweet for you. If you like this episode, please please subscribe, and share it with your friends and family. Yeah, next week we'll have Tara back in, and we can't wait to dive into more. So,
yay!
see you on the other side.
Have a good one, guys.